Hey everybody. So my current laptop started having some problems, and this is the one I bought to replace it. My current laptop is an HP DV4, and this brand new one is an HP Pavilion 15Z, specifically, and it's an N200 model number F0A94AV. This model laptop was released January 13th, 2014. So it's relatively new. There's not many of them out there. I wasn't able to find any reviews on it. So I'm going to create a review, and hopefully this will help you out if you're looking at this laptop. So I upgraded a few things on this. I actually custom ordered it, and the price on my specific one was about 470 bucks. So with shipping you're at about 490. So let me just run through it real quick. I ordered this one in pearl white. I kind of call it the faux Mac because I've always wanted a Mac. I just can't bring myself to spend the money on it. My wife has one, and she loves it, and I love it too when I use it. It's just, for me, it doesn't make sense. I don't spend that much time on the computer compared to her. So this is what I ended up with, and it makes sense for me. This particular one runs Windows 8.1. It's 64-bit. This features an AMD quad-core A4 5000 processor. It has a 15.6-inch display on it. It's a little bit of an upgrade for me. My old HP DV4 has a smaller screen than this. The one thing I upgraded on this was the RAM. It comes stock with 4 gigs of RAM. I upgraded it to 6. I've always noticed in the past Windows is definitely usually either CPU bound or memory bound, which it's just worth the extra money to do a cheap RAM upgrade, honestly. If you can do it, go for it. It also features a 500 gig 5400 RPM drive. It's got a 4-cell lithium-ion battery. Let's stop there for a second and talk about that. You know, for such a big laptop, I've noticed I get about 4 hours battery life out of this, and I know this would increase the price of the laptop, but they should offer a bigger battery option on this one, I think, at least in my mind. And let me flip it over and show this to you. So let's let the camera focus. This long bar right here is the battery. You know, 4 hours of battery life is pretty good, but I'll compare it to my Lenovo that I use at work. And my Lenovo that I use at work has the extended battery in it, and I get 8 hours of battery life out of that sucker. And I would have loved to have had the option to do this in this laptop. They should have had an engineer, and I don't know what's physically in here preventing this, but they should have come back with the battery and did 8 cells or 6 cells or something, and had a bigger battery option for this. Or they could have come out down here and just went across and had a big battery sticking out the back. I've seen that too. So that also would have been an option. And excuse me for covering up the camera there if I did for a second. So let me push this back and get everything back in place. So that's just my thought on the battery. For a cheap laptop, and I don't mean to insult HP. This isn't a cheap laptop. This is middle of the road to a lower end laptop compared to some of the higher end stuff that costs $1,000 basically. This is what makes sense for me for home use. This features an 8-speed DVD plus or minus RW double layer drive, so it's pretty much comparable to any other laptop that you're going to get a drive with out there. That's pretty standard speed. Another thing I added to this laptop was Bluetooth. Bluetooth's important to me. I have Bluetooth devices, and it's just something I wanted, so I went ahead and added it. It also features an 802.11 BGN network card. And that's pretty standard out of the box. One thing that was a little disappointing is that it didn't support the new Windows, or sorry, not Windows, but it didn't support the new wireless AC protocol. That would have been nice, but oh well. Yeah, you know, it's a lower end laptop, so what can you expect? Let's look at the sides real quick on it. So you can see the sides. It's got your power adapter, your lock, your hardwired network port, HDMI, 2 USBs on this side, and you have your SD card. On the other side, it's got your headphone jack, it's got your indicator lights, another USB, and it's got your optical drive here. One thing that I'm really impressed with is the thickness of this laptop. For having a spinning drive in it, it's definitely thin. It's definitely light. Obviously, your MacBook Air, it has a solid state drive in it. You're going to pay extra for that. It's going to be lighter because of that, but for having a spinning drive, this is really extremely thin and definitely light, so HP gets extra credit there. So let's get it back in place, and I'm going to go ahead and get this fired up now that we've had a chance to look at it. We'll see the Windows 8.1 boot time here. So I've hit the power button, and I'll pan up here, and we'll see how long this takes to load. And while it's loading, let's go through the pros and cons list. So, pros. Keyboard. Let me pan down real quick while that's loading. And I'll kind of half pan down so we can kind of see the little blue spinner at the bottom too, so we can see a boot time on this. Keyboard. The keyboard on this is amazing. I'm actually quite impressed with HP, and this is why I bought an HP 4 or 5 years ago. I went ahead and bought this HP because I was so impressed with my last one. Oh, and I'm pending Windows updates. That's awesome. Alright, so we're booted up. That was pretty quick. It's acquiring a wireless signal now. However long elapsed on the camera, that was the boot time. Definitely faster than Windows 7. But let's get back to talking about the keyboard. The keyboard on this types really light, and the keys snap back really quick. I'm definitely impressed with it. I'm a very fast typer. I work on computers for work, so naturally I need a keyboard that can keep up with me. And I've noticed on some cheaper computers, if you go to Walmart or you go to Best Buy, one of the things I like to try out is the keyboard, and I like to see how fast the keys are. I like to see how nice it is to type on, and this one really appeals to me. So that's definitely a benefit. It's also a full keyboard. I've never had this before on a laptop actually, but this one actually has the number pad on it too, so that's new for me, and it'll just take some getting used to. For the price, another pro is the screen display, and let's pan up. The screen display on this is amazingly crisp, clean, easy to read, and I really like that it's not flat. And when I say flat, I mean this is a very glossy screen. I like that. That's just a personal feature I like. It's easy to read for me, and it has a good resolution out of the box for the price of this laptop. The speed of this laptop is good. After I removed all the bloatware in Windows, I made a few personal tweaks after reading some blogs. I'm not a big fan of Windows 8 or 8.1 for that matter. That's nothing against HP, that's against Microsoft. Obviously HP just provides the shell here. If you're unhappy with Windows, try Ubuntu, try another Linux distribution, just try something else. Get out there and just experiment and see what works for you. But after making a few settings to the new Start Tile screen or whatever they're calling it, I was able to get this laptop functioning the way I like it and the way that I'm used to with Windows 7. The only thing I haven't done is install any third-party apps to bring back the Windows 7 gadgets or to bring back the Windows 7 start bar. The right click for me is sufficient enough to bring up my applications on the start bar in Windows 8.1. So let's keep moving along. We already talked about the pros of this, the speed, the screen, the keyboard. The battery life on this, like I mentioned before, is about 4 hours, so for the price of this laptop, that's pretty good, at least in my mind. The cons. Windows 8.1, oh my god, Microsoft, what are you doing to us? The new tile screen moves around, it's got so much happening. You can get touchscreen laptops. It's a mobile OS on a laptop, guys. At least in my mind, that's meant for a phone, a tablet. They should have had a different OS for this that was similar to Windows 7, but that's detracting from the review. This is nothing on HP. HP provides a great laptop with adequate hardware that's very fast, so it's just the operating system that's laid on top of it. Now this one's a con against HP. Let me pan down real quick. Okay, so chassis strength. I don't know if you guys know anything about chassis strength on laptops, but you get what you pay for basically, and this is exactly what I paid for, so I expect to live with this. Chassis strength on this. If I were to push my thumb into this and I was to bend, I could bend it. If you take a higher end Lenovo or you take a higher end Mac, you're going to get an aluminum chassis inside here, you're going to get an upgraded chassis, and you're not going to be able to put your thumb through it basically and actually crack it if you forced it hard enough. That's just, you get what you pay for in the end. It's just worth noting. I'm not going to bang this around. It's pretty much going to sit on my desk at home. I may use it for 30 minutes a day basically. So to me that's not important for my home laptop. I'm not going to be traveling with it. I'm not going to be banging it around. So, the other con of this is the touchpad gestures. Oh my gosh! And this is not on HP. This is on Windows 8. And let's pan back up here. So, Windows 8 and the touchpad gestures. I had to shut a lot of this junk off. Plugging in a mouse on Windows 8.1 is definitely required. I tried using this laptop. Oh. We hit our 5-minute limit there. Alright, so I tried using this laptop with a touchpad for a little while, and my 2 fingers would hit the pad or I'd hit the edge, and Windows was just zooming around my tasks and zooming around the apps that I had open, and I just couldn't keep up with the thing. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm just touching the pad. So when I figured it out, I finally got all that disabled. So let me log in. We'll see how long a login takes. It's actually not long. Excuse me if I get in front of the camera here. And we're pending updates, which is just awesome. We seem to be always pending updates nowadays. So we're in. That was pretty quick. If that's a reflection of the hardware that's in this computer, awesome. You know, good job for HP. That was quick. And like I said, I probably spent a day and a half on this thing uninstalling bloatware and all the stuff that wasn't required. And I made a few tweaks. For instance, you hit the Windows key, it brings you to your apps instead of the tile screen, and then it has them sorted by what's on my desktop. I am not a fan of this screen, but that's personal preference. I just think there's too much going on here. I like the classic Windows look. This is what I'm used to. So, anyway, that's the review. That's the laptop. I'm impressed with what I got for the money from HP. My only gripe is that it runs Windows 8.1 and not Windows 7. So anyway, thanks for watching and have a good day.